In the last episode, we learned that Zane had used me as bait.
Before I fell asleep, I overheard him on the phone, asking someone to transfer the agreed upon amount because he was able to take down the Red Room in Turkey.
This would, apparently, allow them to open a new Red Room without any problems. The moment I woke up, I frantically searched for my phone.
When I couldn't find it, I started screaming. A nurse came in and asked me to calm down. I said to her, "Where's my phone?
I need to call the police right now.
Something dangerous is about to happen, and we have to stop it."
The nurse was completely panicked. She said, Okay, calm down,"
and then called me on her phone. She told me that the officer in charge had left his number and was on his way to investigate what happened in the Red Room. Less than half an hour later, the officer arrived.
He introduced himself as Majid and said he was the one in charge of my case. I started telling him everything that had happened, explaining that Zane was behind it all, that he had used me as bait, and that he was a bad person. I told him that Zane was the one who came with me to the hospital and was in the room. I even mentioned that he was the one who had reported the Red Room so the police could come and save me.
I asked the officer, "What do you know about Zane?"
I gave him all the information. I had his address and phone number. He said, "All right, we'll conduct our investigation and get back to you." The next day, I was at home having a meal when my phone rang. It was Officer Majid.
He asked, "Hello, how are you?"
I replied, "I'm fine, thank God." He said, "Okay, look, first of all, the person who reported the Red Room was a woman, not a man.
Second, there was an error in the camera recordings at that specific time, so nothing was saved." He continued, "As for the address for Zane that you gave us, we went there, but the house was completely empty. When we asked, we found out the owner has been in Turkey for several years and hasn't returned. And of course, the phone number was a dead end." I just sat there, stunned, as if the officer was talking about a person who didn't even exist. Officer Majid must have noticed my worry and shock because he said, "Look, this is the number I am calling you from.
Save it. If anything strange happens, or you suspect anything, or find out anything new, call me anytime." I thanked him and hung up. A week later, my friend called to check on me.
I hadn't left the house in a week and was feeling a bit down.
He said, "Alex is back from Saudi Arabia. How about we go out and meet up?" I was so isolated and bored that I immediately agreed.
Besides, I had missed Alex a lot since I hadn't seen him in a long time. That night, we sat at a cafe, reminiscing about the good times we had, laughing and joking.
While we were there, Alex got a text on his phone. He looked at it for a moment, lost in thought, and then said, "Finally." I asked him, "What's up? What does finally mean?"
He told me he had signed up for a reality simulation game. It gave him missions to complete, and to join, he had to answer a bunch of questions and get either accepted or rejected. I asked, "What's the benefit of all these missions?" He said they give out valuable prizes. Valuable prizes?
Like what?
Do you know anyone who's won? I asked. "Yeah," he said. "One of my friends won an iPhone."
That's just one of many prizes. What's the app called then?
"I want to download it," I said.
You can't, he told me. It's not on the app store.
"Then how do you get it?"
We send it to each other. Okay, then send it to me. To be honest, the idea of an adventure was appealing, and the prizes were a bonus, so I took it on as a challenge.
He sent me the app. I installed it, and a black owl icon appeared.
I opened it, and it started asking me questions. What do you like? What don't you like?
What's your favorite color?
What time do you wake up? What time do you go to sleep? What would you do if a friend upset you? What's the craziest thing you've ever done? What do you love most about tech and games?
They were all personal questions, like, do you own a car?
I answered the multiple choice questions right away. When I finished and agreed, a message popped out, sending data. We will contact you soon. I put my phone away, and we just hung out as usual.
We went home at 2 a.m.
I got home and went to bed.
At 5 a.m.
A very annoying ringtone woke me up. I grabbed my phone and saw it was the app I had just installed. The first mission appeared out of 7, and the prize was a PlayStation 4. I couldn't pass that up. I opened the mission, and it showed me a GPS location with coordinates.
It told me to go to a house and draw an X on the ground with a red spray paint can that would be nearby. A countdown timer started for about 20 minutes. I quickly got dressed, rushed to my car, and drove like a madman to the location. I found the house and the spray can, drew the X in front of the house, took a picture of it, and uploaded it to the app.
For every mission, You had to take a picture of what you did and send it to them. After just 3 minutes, a green check mark appeared for the first mission.
I still had 6 more below it. I thought, this is so easy.
If this is all it takes, I'll get that PlayStation 4 in a flash. I went back home and fell back asleep. The next day, at 3 a.m.,
the same annoying ringtone woke me up. I was shocked and annoyed because I couldn't change it. No matter how hard I tried, I looked at the screen, and the second mission was to go to a house and just take a picture of it.
The coordinates were there, and a 30-minute countdown started.
The place was a bit far. I rushed to my car and drove to the house.
It was an abandoned house. I took a picture and uploaded it. A few minutes later, another green check mark appeared for the second mission. As soon as I got back in the car, the ABP sent me a third mission.
This is great, I thought. Instead of waiting 7 days, I'd finish this quickly. I opened the mission.
It said I had to meet a guy, and a picture of him was attached. He looked like a young man in his early 20s.
He was also a participant in the game.
I was supposed to take a box from him and leave it at a different location, which was also provided.
All of this had to be done within 25 minutes. There was a warning at the bottom that said, if you open the box, you will be permanently disqualified from the game. It also mentioned that to get the box from the guy, I had to say the password Dark Owl. The countdown began. I drove to the location, which was on a highway.
It was a bit strange, but I told myself it was just part of the adventure, and the guy was a fellow player. Time was running out, so I was speeding.
I finally arrived at the location, and there was a guy standing there.
I got out of the car and walked towards him.
He was the same young man from the picture, but he looked incredibly tense and worried. I said, Dark Owl. He replied, Dark Owl, and handed me a box. It was about the size of a large bag of chips, but surprisingly heavy, and it was completely covered in tape.
A strange smell coming from it caught my attention.
I threw the box in the car. My curiosity was killing me. I wanted to know what was inside, but I didn't want to lose the mission. I drove to the second location, which was a large, secluded park. I placed the box on the ground, took a picture with my phone, and uploaded it. The ABP gave me a green check mark for the third mission.
As soon as I finished, I saw 3 men wearing white masks running towards me from a distance.
2 of them were carrying baseball bats, and 1 had a knife.
I was the only person in the park, so I knew they were coming for me.
I ran to my car. Luckily, I had left it running.
I jumped in, locked the doors, and sped away. They were hitting my car with their bats, but I escaped before they could do any real damage. I returned home in a state of complete panic. I kept thinking about what would have happened if I hadn't been able to run, or if my car hadn't been on. They could have kidnapped or killed me.
I couldn't sleep at all that night. My mind was racing a million miles an hour.